Hi everyone. Sorry for the slight delay. Okay. So let me just sort out the setup. Okay, so this should work. So today we're going to do a more traditional yoga rehab. So we'll spend more time on the mat. Yeah, sorry for the delay. So yeah, we'll focus mostly on the lower legs. So if you have a mat, you can come down onto it. So this will be gentle hip opening, thigh, hip flexor opening. And I hope you can see me okay. All right. And we're going to start with cat and cow. So you're going to push your back up and then inhale, look up. And do that 5 times. This should feel good. Big range of motion between the up and the down. And then hip circles, so we're starting right away, getting into the hips. We'll do 5 circles in one direction. And then the other way. So even though we're doing like the leg rehab, we still have to warm up the legs to then stretch them out. So we're going to do a fire hydrant. So you're coming up, then you'll kick the leg back, bring the knee in, and then bring the knee down. So I'll show you again. The leg comes out to the side, the heel kicks back, the knee comes in, the knee comes down. And then up again, kick back, in and down. And we'll do that 15 times. Up, kick back, in and down. And I'll do 5 more. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then I'll turn around so you can see the other side. So the other leg comes up, kicks back, in and down, and up 15 times. 3, 4, and 5 more. 3, 4, and 5. Good. So hopefully that has warmed up the hips nicely for you. We'll come back to the first leg. So for me, that was the left side. You can relax your upper body. Just come down onto the elbows in the front. And another combined movement. So you're going to lift the leg straight, bend the knee, kick the leg back, and lower the foot. Up, bend, and lower. Up, bend, 15 times. So there's a gentle hamstring curl and a glute activation. I'll do 5 more. Okay, and then switch sides. So again, I'll show you the other side from this perspective. So the leg comes up, curls, extends, and lowers. Up, curl, extend, and lower. Five more. Okay, good. And then we'll come back to the first leg. For this one, you can lie down on your side. So we'll start off with the top leg being straight and the bottom leg is bent. So just, again, a combined exercise. You're lifting the leg straight up. You're going to bring the knee into your chest, and then you kick the leg back and you lower the leg down. Lift, bring it in, extend, and down 15 times. Five more. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, good. And then I'll just swing my legs around. You can do the same thing. That way you don't lose view of me. Okay, so the bottom leg is bent. The top leg is going to come up, in, and down. Up, in, out, and down. I'll do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good. So in that same vein, we'll come back to the first side. And for this one, again, you're relaxed in your upper body. You just lift and lower. So no combined exercise. It's just up and down 15 times. Working the adductors. Five more. And 5. And then swing your legs around at the side. So we're still warming up all aspects of the leg, and then we'll do a longer stretch. So your top leg opens up and stands behind your bottom leg, and then up and down. 2, 3, 4. Keep flexing your foot, so you're pulling it up towards your face. Okay. And then you can actually lie down on your back. So before we keep going, just place the soles of your feet together and then gently rock your hips right and left. And let's just do 20 of those. Don't try and force your knees down. Just let them fall. And then massage some of the muscles we just worked. So we've worked the glutes, the adductors. Okay. And then you can gently close the knees and then lift your legs up, place your hands under your hips. And from here, we'll start off with just pointing the toes and flexing the foot, both at the same time. So we're working on mobility. There's a little bit of core work because you have to keep the legs up. Keep going. We're doing 15 total. Okay, and then bend the knees, hug them into your chest. So today's not, like some of this will feel not super easy, but we're not doing long enough series for you to really exert yourself. This is just about building a little bit of heat and then stretching it out. So hug your knees into your chest. And then we'll extend the legs out one at a time. So both legs are bent. One leg extends, comes down. Other leg extends, comes down. So gently stretching the hamstrings. For some people, this is easier than for me. We're doing 10 with each leg. And I'm going to do 3 more with each foot. 1, 2. Good. And then hug the knees in one more time. This time, extend one leg forward and just hug the opposite knee in. You can sway a little left and right. You can create little circles in the knee. So pull the knee in, circle in one direction. And then hug both knees into your chest. Now extend your opposite leg straight. Pull that knee a little closer in. You can sway a little left, right. And then we'll create little circles with the knee. 5 times in one direction, and then 5 times in the other direction. Okay, and then bring both knees in again. Place your hands under your hips. Extend both legs up. And now we've done this one before. Open and close, and open and close. And do that 15 times. I'll do 3 more. 2 and 1. Bend your knees. Step your feet down onto the mat. And then from here, step your feet wider so they're about mat width. And then let your knees collapse in, one at a time. So one knee collapses in and then lifts. And then the other knee collapses in and then lifts. Do that 5 on each side, gently twisting. Okay, and then we'll do one more of these exercises where your legs are up. This time we're involving the core. Can't go one day without at least doing like a slight core exercise. So if your neck hurts, interlace your fingers behind your head and do the exercise like this. If you feel good and you can keep your chin to your chest, then keep your head up. And we're going to do these little shin taps. And so either you do that with your head up, or you interlace your fingers and then you reach your elbows towards your knees. So you choose. And we're doing 40 of them, 40. So it's up. I have 10, 11. That's 20, halfway. And 10 left. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Place your feet down. That was a good little core exercise thrown in. And now all we do from now on is stretch. So start off on one knee and extend the other leg out. And then flex your foot and reach for that foot. So you'll have the stretch in the leg and the hamstring. Excuse me. And then the other arm reaches up. So you have a little bit of a stretch in there. And then reach your arms forward. Place your foot on the ground, flat. Push your hips back and reach your arms forward. And then keep your foot like this and reach the other way. So now you're going towards your bent leg. Arm up and over your head. Long stretch in the hip. Good. And then we're going to switch legs. So come to kneel on the other leg. Start off with that extended leg and having your toes pulled up so your foot is flexed and leaning towards it. Without collapsing towards it and looking at it, you're still reaching the arm up towards the ceiling. Really pull those toes up. And then reach forward. You can put your foot flat now. And then reach the other way. Good. And then we'll get into the hip flexors. So if your knees tend to hurt, double up your mat or place a cushion under the knee that stays on the ground. Step your other foot out. And then lean forward just enough so you can pick up that back foot. And when you do that, you shouldn't be resting on the kneecap. You should be resting on the area just above the kneecap. So there's a soft part that connects to your thigh. So you're not actually putting all that pressure on your knee. And then stretch out. Maybe this is where it's... And then gently let go of that leg. Especially where you transition through the kneecap. Be careful. Tuck your toes. And then switch to the other side. So when you tuck your toes, you can move the knee forward and back without putting too much pressure on the kneecap itself. And then gently let go, tuck your toes, support yourself in that transition. Now I want you to find a structure that is quite stable, that you can put your foot on top and then turn your knee out. So I'll show you the other side first. So find that structure. That can be a windowsill. It could be a dresser like this. It needs to be about hip height, maybe a little lower. And when you put your foot on top and then let the knee fall out, you get an outer hip stretch that is actually, in my opinion, better than a pigeon. And then you can play with your angles. So maybe your knee comes down lower than mine. Maybe you can twist across a bit and you feel that stretch here. Maybe you just want to lean forward. Maybe that's already enough. And then you can play with coming in closer and further back. Good. And then switch to the other side. So on this side, I have a slightly different angle because I don't have as much space behind me. But it's the same concept. You can also adjust your stance so you can stand over to the side. Whatever allows you to get deeper into the hip. You might have to lean in a bit further. And then we'll stand sideways next to that structure. So if your right hip is closer to the windowsill or the dresser and your right hand is on top of it, you will step your right foot forward and outside of your left foot. And then you lean towards the dresser and you can bend your right leg. Left leg is straight. So you're pushing the left hip out and away from the thing that you're holding on to. That's good. And then you can turn around. So you would be, for me, it's the left hip against the structure. Left foot steps forward and across the right foot. And then I'm leaning towards the dresser. Okay, and then the last thing we'll do today is going to be twofold. So you're going to place the top of your foot against the ground and just stretch out your whole front. So I have stiff toes, so that's about it. But you should try and push this top part of your foot down towards the ground, which then stretches up through the shin. So that's one part of the shin stretched. And then the other foot. Careful not to get a toe cramp. And then a proper calf stretch. So you can do this against a wall. The idea here is that the back leg is far back and the heel is all the way on the ground. Now pick up your other foot and hook it behind the back ankle. So I almost prefer this to a stretch on a step, just putting more weight onto that back leg. But the heel is solid on the ground. And switch sides. Pushing the hips forward. Heel is on the ground. The structure supports you. Sometimes if you do this on a step, there's a lot of balancing involved, and then you're actually using other muscles. This really isolates the calf. Good. And so that's our leg rehab, prehab for today. I think this is useful. If you could do this after a run, which I just did. You could do this in between days, and the key is really to just warm up the hip a little bit and the legs, and then stretch and lengthen them. So yeah, it just, I feel like we're all standing more probably, and it feels good to release like the calves and the hips, because they get all stiff when we're not outside as much. So yeah, I hope you liked this. Sorry about the slight delay, and I will see you all for one more workout tomorrow. Okay, stay healthy. Thank you for joining. I love doing this with you guys, and